Design to improve life comes from every corner of the globe, and we're super excited for today's session to illuminate some of the brilliant minds from Latin American youth. We invited 3 designers from our Diseño Responde competition and their Index Project Awards jury member Alejandra Amenábar to discuss this world-improving work.
COVID-19 hit Latin America really hard. To the millions of confirmed cases and deaths, an unprecedented education crisis, intrafamiliar violence, and social unrest followed. The challenges that the region already had became only bigger. And this was a scenario that Alejandra, Amenábar, and we were fearing would happen when COVID-19 arrived in Latin America. And so early in 2020, we decided to create Diseño Responde, a design competition in Latin America to both find solutions for a region and to give local designers a chance to help their own people and to also be heard. So today I'm joined by 4 great women who will share their expectations and results of Diseño Responde, tell us about their projects, and hopefully inspire you to create solutions with design to improve life. We will begin with the first speaker, which is Alejandra Amenábar. Alejandra is the Dean of the Design Faculty of Universidad del Desarrollo and a jury member of Index Award. And Alejandra will tell us what Diseño Responde is all about. So Alejandra, please, to you.
Thank you, Mariano. I will share my screen. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. Also, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to present you a project that makes me feel very, very proud, Diseño Responde, in English, Design Responde. I like to understand design as a multifaceted discipline with multiple perspective and scope that contributes to link creativity and innovation, generate a competitive distinction, solve problems, and promote system thinking. Due to the constant transformations and the accelerated technological development, countries and societies are uncertain about the future. Therefore, new opportunities open up to face these transformations. Those who know how to identify them better and open themselves to change will probably be the ones who manage to be more competitive. The incorporation of design as a strategy for economic, social, and cultural development seems fundamental. Systematize the particular way which designers detect problems and opportunities to frame solutions. And this vision of design is very important for Latin America, to investigate new and innovative ways to achieve greater growth and competitiveness. But a pandemic changes everything, and it accelerates the urgency of incorporating design to improve people's quality of life. Some of the problems that this health crisis has generated are global, but others are particular to the region context. For example, we are 41 very diverse countries. 30.8% of the population lives in poverty, and we have a huge income disparity. This exacerbates the social effects of the pandemic in our region. And can design save us? Can design help Latin America? At the Design School of Universidad del Desarrollo from Chile and the Index Project, we believe it can. We are partners since 2018, and we share the Latin soul, especially with Mariano, that is characterized by resilience and the ability to move ahead and do a lot with little. And we are convinced that the region has unique riches in terms of its natural and cultural diversity, which can become a source of creativity, growth, and human development. And that is why we organize Diseño Responde. The main objective, stimulate the creativity of young Latin American talents and find solutions to the problems that the pandemic has highlighted. What is the opportunity? Some of them give voice to young Latin Americans, promote future Latin American innovations and ventures, spread the voice about Latin American creativity to the rest of the world. And what answers did we expect? For example, support for older adults and children, domestic violence, online education, challenges for public transport, among many others. And what were we looking for? Chiefly designs that improve health and life. And we defined the same categories as the Index Award: body, home, work, play and learning, and community. Organizing this contest was a lot of work. It took us a long time with many challenges because we had to spread it in all corners of Latin America. But we had the help of an extraordinary jury for that. Mariana Matulo and Laura Novik from Argentina, Oscar Mas from Peru, Francisco Gómez Paz from Argentina, Alejandra Luzardo and Tomás Díez from Venezuela, Juan Carlos Fernández from Mexico, Amalia Cubillos and Ignacio Vinimelis from Chile, Julius Wiedemann from Brazil, Hernando Barragán from Colombia, Mariano Alesandro from Argentina and Denmark, and Lisa Chong from United Kingdom and Denmark, and me from Chile. The impact was tremendous, not only in the number of particular and in the quality of the projects we received, but also because of the interest that we could see in Latin America to seek innovative solutions. And here are some figures. We received 400 projects from 30 countries, of which 43 finalists were selected. Very soon, we will launch the catalog of this contest where you can see the finalists and winners. The result exceeded expectation with proposals that managed to empathize with the different and diverse problems that arose from the pandemic or that were exacerbated by it. Latin creativity found solutions in many areas, some of them unexpected, and each proposal responded at least to one SDG. And here are the 5 winners and the special mention of the jury. I can only tell you that they are incredible projects, full of creativity that allow us to open new horizons for our region. The first one, EU. EU responds to an invisible reality that of many women who once a month when menstruating must leave their usual work or studies because they do not have the necessary means to maintain adequate menstrual hygiene, which increases the gender gap. The second one, WorMe, is a system of self-breeding of larvae and food processor, which aims to reduce malnutrition in Latin America as a result of the low consumption of proteins through the promotion of entomophagy or consumption of insects. Aerosol box is a transparent capsule that is placed on the heads of patients in health facilities to reduce their contact with medical personnel. And Potrero Digital, the special mention of the jury, Potrero Digital La Juanita, is a network of digital trade schools aimed at people who are in situation of vulnerability. It arises in response to the demands of an increasingly digitized world. About Lugün and Biodiseño en Colegios, you will hear from its protagonist in a few moments. In summary, Latin America responded in an extraordinary way. And finally, I want to thank all the institutions that contributed to the realization of Diseño Responde. Without them, none of this would have been possible. So, muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alejandra. And before we continue, I just want to remind the people watching that if you have questions, you can send them to our Instagram or to our Facebook. Si hablas español, lo podés hacer en español. Let's continue then. So, our next speaker is Giovanna Danies Turano. Giovanna is a biologist and a microbiologist with a master's degree in biological sciences from Universidad de los Andes. In 2015, she received her PhD in plant pathology from Cornell University in Ithaca, United States. Giovanna will present Biodiseño en Colegios, Biodesign in Schools, the winner of the Play and Learning category from this first edition of Diseño Responde. Giovanna, todo tuyo.
Thank you, Mariano. Okay. Great. So, thank you for the invitation. We're very happy to be able to share our project with you. Atarraya is an interdisciplinary research group at Universidad de los Andes in Bogotá, Colombia, which aims to strengthen K-12 education in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in Latin America through design thinking. Biodesign for high schools is one of the projects we have in Atarraya, and it was inspired by our experience at Universidad de los Andes, where we prepare design students to compete at the Biodesign Challenge. This experience has been very exciting because it has motivated design students to enter into scientific fields. They become curious about science, they want to go into the labs. But what's most important about biodesign is that it makes designers understand that their methodologies, their creative methodologies, are so important for us to be able to solve today's world's needs. They have the tools to be able to define problems or find opportunities in the frame of the Sustainable Development Goals. And thanks to this experience, we realized that there was a need in today's students in high school because they are facing complex challenges such as climate change. But if we can think of Latin America, there are so many different challenges throughout the region. And traditional education based mostly on theoretical content, which is evaluated at the end of the school year, is not responding to developing the skills needed to face these challenges. So our objective is to seek support. Our objective seeks to support meaningful youth participation by empowering communities, focusing mainly on teachers. Why we want to empower the teachers? We want to promote teacher leadership. We intend to strengthen skills in teachers that will help them guide their students into the identification of real-world problems within their contexts and encourage them to solve them based on or using tools from the sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Specifically, the project aims to strengthen competencies and skills in natural sciences, empathy, teamwork, communication, critical thinking, both in teachers and students of 9th and 10th grade. So how does our methodology work? We have a teacher and student training in interdisciplinary methodologies which combine design thinking and nature and biotechnology. Design thinking, we offer the tools so that students can go and explore their own contexts, understand users that are important or around them, and then be able to define problems or opportunities in the frame of the Sustainable Development Goals. And using nature as inspiration, because plants and animals have lived in the world for billions of years and they have had to adapt themselves to changing conditions, to extreme temperatures, to high solar radiation, and we can find in nature solutions to these challenges. So as designers, we can learn from the nature solutions and emulate them and prototype things that will help to solve the solutions in a more sustainable way. So once students understand the design thinking methodologies and tools in nature, they are able to incorporate these tools within their proposed solutions. And then at the end, they have a project they can present to a jury of experts and hopefully become a solution for their own context. Our methodology is flexible and can be adapted to diverse contexts, working with different sustainable development goals depending on the interests of institutions, teachers, and students. So it could be a program that can be incorporated within a certain course, for example, biology, or to a certain school year, the whole 9th grade, or it could be an extracurricular activity, depending on the institution's context. The process the process is based on the design thinking methodology. So we have an exploration phase, interpretation of what has been explored, then ideation, prototyping, evaluation, and finally communication. We have 30-hour workshops for teachers so that they can learn how the methodology is applied. But during this 30 hours workshop, the teachers are always thinking, how can I apply this knowledge to my own context? So something that is very important is we give them the phases, but they adapt those phases depending on their context. Then we have a kit, which is composed of a book that helps students and guides them to the development of a project, of a biodesign project. And it has 3 different parts, which one has users, another one has contexts, and the third one has sustainable development goals. And then they can play and choose one of each and then think about problems or opportunities within their context that has that sustainable development goal, those users, and that specific context that is chosen. And something that has been very helpful has been a program we call the Expert Call, where in 4 different stages of the project, students get to speak with experts that can help them understand the biotechnology or understand possible solutions to the problem they want to work at. So we started in 2020, in January, February 2020, and we certified 26 teachers from 7 public schools in Bogota and Soacha. So this was 1 month earlier from the pandemic, and this was the only session in person that we had. After that, everything we had to adapt it to an online workshop, and that was amazing for us because we started with 7 high schools in Bogota, and today we are in 10 countries in Latin America due to the shift to an online version. So teachers are trained, and then they follow the methodology with their students, and they get to participate at a Latin American Biodesign Challenge, where they present this to experts, and we choose one of the high school students or groups to participate at the Biodesign Challenge that takes place in New York City. This year, one group of students got to participate. Their team was called Energy Plus, and because of the pandemic, they started with a different proposal, but then they were forced to look for solutions with the exploration tools they could use during pandemics. So they start to observe in their own houses how was energy working, what did they have available, or what challenges they found. And they found that in Bogota, which is a city that is very cold, some people don't have access to gas. And because they don't have access to gas, they are not able to heat water, or so they take showers with really cold water. And at the beginning, they thought that was a problem, but then they understood that there were some people that actually loved to take showers with cold water. So they started to understand and deepen within the problem, and they found out that for other people that were more elderly, hot water was something that was needed for health, for cooking and for other things. So they designed a biodigester, which works with waste material that they can find at home, and with microorganisms. These microorganisms that digest the waste food create energy, and with that energy they have gas. And this is not something new, but what is new is that they made this technology available to the people in their contexts. And also they found that in other regions of Colombia, where in more rural areas, having access to gas is also difficult. So they did do-it-yourself instruction kits so that people could build safe biodigesters at their homes and be able to produce gas to heat water or for cooking or for other reasons. So as I was mentioning, for us, the pandemic was an opportunity to learn different things. In 2020, we started with 26 teachers from Bogota and Soacha. Soacha is really close to Bogota. In 2021, the first semester, we had 33 teachers from 13 states in Colombia and 1 from Peru. And this semester, we have 55 teachers from 10 countries in Latin America, thanks to the support of the Organization of American States. So what we realized is that direct contact with people is very important. But what is most important is to have the time to listen to people and to be able to give them feedback. So what we're doing right now is having shifting our teacher training sessions to small videos that teachers can watch at home. And then when we meet synchronically, either in person or through a computer, we take advantage of that valuable time together to listen to them and to help them develop their programs so that they can adapt the Biodesign for High Schools methodologies in their contexts. So if you're interested in doing Biodesign for High Schools, the timeline for some of these projects is 1 month to socialize the pedagogical material with teachers. Then there's 2 months for the teacher training workshop. Then there is a month where we assess teachers and their curricula so that they can adapt what they have created to their own context. Then there's from month 5 to 11, there's a mentoring process where we help teachers and guide them in the guiding process of the developing of biodesign projects with their students. And after this, teachers are part of an alumni network where they share resources. And also, the nice thing about the virtual learning is that experts from all around the world can go to the remote school in Latin America through a computer and give a nice talk or be able to speak with people and guide them through their projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Giovanna, and good luck with the project. Up next, we will listen to Ignacia González. Ignacia is a design student from the Universidad Católica de Chile, whose main interests are graphic and editorial design, but also labeling. Ignacia's project, Lugün, won the community category for Diseño Responde. So, Ignacia, all yours.
Thank you, Mariano. You can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in the year 2020, the coronavirus really affected our ways of living. Wearing masks all day was one of the simple changes we had to make. But more importantly, because of the pandemic, around 4.5 million people died, facing the governments to search for quicker burials. There are 3 types of common burials. The first one and most common are niches, where the bodies are buried underground and sealed on a sealed casket, which protects the possible contamination to the ground. The negative side of niches is that there is no recycling of nutrients and only carbon dioxide is returned to the atmosphere. The second type of burial is cremation. But if we think about it, the contamination of combustion, it's way higher than any other type of burial. And the last type of burial is natural burial, where the body is wrapped on a biodegradable sheet and buried directly to the ground. On the negative side, it can contaminate closer underground water, but on the positive side, the recycling of nutrients is really high. If we take care of the close underground waters and protect them, natural burial is the most eco-friendly form of burial. In Chile, the Mapuches have been burying their dead under trees near their houses. This way, the spirit of their loved ones stays in it and it's closer to them. In one of my design courses in Chile, we were asked to design a project around the topic crisis. And we were in the middle of COVID, so my focus went directly to it. This is how Lugün Memorial Forest was originated. So, how does the memorial forest work? After the person dies, its body is wrapped in a biodegradable sheet, and it's buried directly to the ground next to a tree. Each tree is personal, and it has a scannable pattern with a GPS on it. This allows the visitors to walk through the forest, scanning the trees and opening the playlist of the music that most represents each person. Or they can activate walking mode and let the phone play as you get near different trees. The app will allow the visitors to choose the mode, and the patterns will be made of a flexible and durable adhesive that doesn't harm the trees. After the body is buried, the decomposition produces nitrogen, which makes the trees greener. And with this type of burial, no species are harmed, and it protects the environment. Lugün's objective is to change our way of saying goodbye to our loved ones. No more creepy silent memorials, and let's connect with them through music. Thank you.
Thank you, Ignacia. That's really interesting. I have some questions for later. Josefa, we are getting to you. So we're finishing the presentation of the day. Remember, everyone, if you have questions, please send them to us. It can be in English, can be in Spanish, it could be in other language. If we can help, we will. But now we're going to have Josefa Cortés. Josefa Cortés is the founder of Palpa, one of the Diseño Responde finalists. And last year, she founded this after getting her degree as a designer. So it must have been a pretty busy year. She believes that design can truly impact people's lives. And with Palpa, she hopes to enhance the awareness and the prevention of breast cancer. So Josefa, please tell us what Palpa is about.
Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Great. So, well, my name is Josefa. I'm the founder and CEO of Palpa. And to tell you a little bit the story about it, Palpa's story started when Jovita, a very close person to me, felt something on her breast, but she kept telling herself that it was only a fat lump, so decided to ignore it. Years later, she went to a doctor for a regular checkup to find out that the same lump had evolved into a 4th stage breast cancer. For Jovita, things would have been entirely different if she would have been informed at the moment she first felt that lump. So every year, more than 40,000 women die only in the US due to breast cancer, and most of them have one thing in common: late detection. 99% of these cases would have been survived if they would have been diagnosed earlier. So most of the energy in breast cancer prevention is focused on women who are at least 40 years old through mammograms every year. But the truth is that more of 10,000 cases of breast cancer are diagnosed in women under this age, women who are like me, my friends, women who don't have mammograms, and the only way they have to detect anything on time is through breast self-exam. So with this in mind, I started asking myself, do I know how to distinguish a lump, or do I know really how to perform breast self-exam? The answer was no, I did not, and neither did any of my friends. So how can we help women to include this habit in a more natural way, but without scaring them? Palpa aims to teach young women about breast self-exam, how to practice it, and how to detect anomalies in their shower routine through soft interactions. More specifically, Palpa is a breast-shaped device that contains a lamp with all the usual malicious symptoms. So women can practice self-examination outside their body while filling this device with soap. So here's a short video that explains. So the device is filled with liquid soap, and women can practice this self-touch in this device, and then it also works as a soap dispenser rubber. So while you are touching it, soap is released for a better sliding and skin sense over the breast while checking themselves. Palpa is inserted in women's daily routine, changing this death-related culture we have of breast cancer to a more friendly culture of self-knowledge, and being the only solution with these characteristics granted us an invention patent. Here's a testimony of one of our users that she tells us that before she got her Palpa, she had never done a self-exam before, but now she remembers to do it every month. So if we talk about expenditure accounts, only in the US, they expend $30 billion treating breast cancer, and Palpa aims to address this market through different segments. First one, the B2B segment, through corporate social campaigns, especially you can see them during October, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Also, we have partnership with governments, trying to reach out women out there who can't access the product by their own means. And on third place, we have the B2C segment for all women out there who wants to begin this journey of breast self-examination. And if we zoom out, these $30 billion only represent the 10% of the expenses around the world. So breast cancer is a global concern in practically every country, and politics for early detection must be implemented now. During this whole year, a very busy year, like Mariano told us, we have worked with several companies in a campaign that will be launched this October in Chile. More than 20,000 units have been committed in sales, and many leading companies have partnered with us for marketing efforts or for internal campaigns with their workers. And Palpa will be available from October throughout the whole country in pharmacies and our e-commerce. So to make this possible, we just closed our first family friends round, which was very successful. This is our executive team nowadays. We cover some commercial, financial, but of course the design areas. And we are actively looking for new candidates who can help us take Palpa to the next level. And additionally, we have 2 external advisors that have supported us along the way. So our vision is to stop, is for breast cancer to stop being a taboo topic and to empower young women about breast self-examination and in front of this disease. Far beyond a product, it is to achieve a change of mind in women. And here's a testimony of Bernardita, that she came to us to thank us because before she knew Palpa, she had never checked before, and she found a lump when she did it for the first time, and that lump was a precancerous tumor at her age, 26 years old. So for her, Palpa really changed her life. And our dream, so just to close, is to see Palpa in every shower of every woman as an established brand also, which promotes a culture change in the general view of breast cancer. So less fear and more knowledge, and of course, starting in Chile, but then reaching out the whole world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josefa. So we are ready with our presentations, but we're not ready with today's events. We're going to begin talking now. If you have questions, please remember to send them in any language, preferably Spanish or English. But I think that there is something that, for all of us here, I mean, we know all the different challenges that Latin America has. We have known them probably all our lives. We know that these challenges, they have become even bigger with the current situation. But like Alejandra was saying at the beginning, we also know that the region has a lot of different reaches. We are a vast continent that have conversation around what do you think this is what is the good, what is it the bad about this combination when sitting down and trying to generate a solution to a problem?
Sorry, Mariano, we lose the signal in a few seconds. So
If I can.
In my case, I can hear you.
No, but it was your question.
Yeah.
Was your question that if Latin America is so diverse how can we come together to find solutions? Was that the question?
Yeah, no, the question, Giovanna, is knowing that we have all these different challenges and all these different things in positive, how do you think that this, I mean, how does it affect ourselves when we sit down and try to create a solution?
Yeah, Latin Americans, diversity of natural diversity, cultural diversity, the challenges that are so diverse. In my opinion, it's a gold mine of opportunities for designers, because there's so many challenges and so many opportunities as well, because the cultural knowledge is amazing. People have solved things using different strategies. And also, something that I mentioned is our biodiversity richness is amazing, but at the same time is so vulnerable to climate change and to many of the activities humans are doing. So it's a moment to act, to reflect, to understand how we're doing things. As Josefa was saying, it's so important to change our mindsets, sometimes how we address things. Not in her case is for a health issue, but there's so many things we do in our everyday where we're generating more waste, where we are not taking advantage of the richness of our biodiversity, where we are sometimes applying technologies that are not suitable for our contexts. So I think it's a moment to stop, reflect, and understand what is happening in our region and what does our region need. So that's why sometimes in Latin America we use a lot of solutions that are derived in other countries and other contexts, but it's important for designers to innovate based on our problems and what our users need.
Yes, I am totally...
Ignacia, do you want to say something about?
Okay, no.
No, Ale, go.
Go ahead, Alejandra.
¿Me o Ignacia? Okay. No, I am totally agree with Giovanna. I really think and I feel that today we have a very big opportunity. The great opportunities and the big innovations in the world are born in big crises. So I think today Latin America has the opportunity, especially for designers, to reflect and to act and to think in our specific problems, in what kind of problems we unit us, and what kind of problem we had as a region, as a context. So designers have, I think, this big challenge, and for me, it's a very, very nice and very nice challenge for the future and for the region.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of the things that that we always have been thinking, you and me, Alejandra, about creating competitions that are, for a particular continent, in this case, Latin America, and thinking about how exactly it's a mix of what you, Alejandra, were saying, about Giovanna, and you were saying, this mix that in Latin America we always look up, or we look to, the other side, just to see, oh, look what they have, but we can also generate it, but we don't believe in ourselves in that way, right? But I wanted to hear Josefa and Ignacia, what do you think of this? Because you're the youngest here, so I want to hear, okay, where are we going?
I was going to say the same, that we always look up to other solutions in other countries. And I know we have big challenges in Chile, or in Latin America, but we don't understand that the solution may be way simpler than we think. We have a lot of opportunities, and we try to make big solutions that maybe they don't fit in our countries, and that's where designers have a big challenge, like Alejandra said, and I think we have to how to say it, take the chance and throw ourselves to the challenge. We have to try that. And that's why this competitions, this Diseño Responde that you organized, I think it's a really good way of supporting young designers to throw themselves to design. That's the idea.
Josefa? Gracias.
Yes, in my case, I'm in this moment in Boston, and before coming here, I was like, this will be an how can I say, like a whole new opportunity and a whole new experience. But I think in Chile, we have a lot of opportunities similar than here. So we have those opportunities there in Latin America, in our country, and we have to stop like always trying to reach the main country or Europe, or because we have those opportunities right in our countries. So
yeah, that's good. And just some questions, Lugün. Let's say that we really want to make this happen, and you get someone putting a lot of money. Is it possible? Is it legal?
That's a really good question. I try to think that it's possible. You will, if I want to accomplish it, I would have to do some legal stuff, because burying someone in the ground, it's not just something you can do, and you have to take care of close underground waters. And once you have legally do all the papers and do all the research, I like to believe it's possible. but when I made it in a context of really utopic context or situation. But I really think it's possible if we could legally act.
Yeah. It's interesting because many of these projects or ideas, when they come out, perhaps they are not legal, perhaps it cannot be done, but that also means it talks a lot about the mentality that people are living, the change that we're living. Because something is illegal, it doesn't. Perhaps it means that the whole system around it has to change. If we're talking in this case of burying people, right? And about systemic changes, when you're talking, Giovanna, you're working with different schools, you're working with teachers, you're working with students, and from our own experience at Index of working with education, we know that teachers sometimes can be a little bit hard to change mentalities or to accept a new kind of curriculum. When you come with biodesign in colegios, what is their reaction? Do they play along? Do you have to do a lot of lobby? How does that work?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, because teachers have a lot of work, and now in the middle of pandemia, they had to change everything. They had a lot more work. So if they see this methodology as something additional they have to do, there's certainly a rejection. But when they find this methodology as something that helps them become closer to their students, increase their students' motivation, empower their students, it's been amazing. Us listening to a mathematician teacher who says, I had never seen the relation between math and biology, but now I found it, and now my students love math, and now I can teach it in a way where they can actually go outside and see that math is all around. It's fascinating. But also something we learned is in Latin America, some teachers are afraid of the word curriculum. And I had no idea. I just had I had ignored that. I thought curriculum was something like everyone that is a teacher understands a curriculum, but in Latin America, there's a certain like scare. It's a little bit scary to talk about curriculum. So what we're doing now is we're offering tools so that teachers can see other ways they can teach. The problem-based learning approach or project-based learning approach is something that it's not trivial to every teacher. But once they understand it, they love it. And the design thinking methodology is so amazing there. At the beginning, they're very scared because students are always navigating through uncertainties and they are like, how are my students going to arrive to a problem? They're not doing anything right now. They're lost. And we always say, trust the methodology, trust the methodology. And at the end of the semester, they arrive to these amazing solutions that teachers are so impressed of. I had no idea my students could arrive to this solution. And that aha moment or that happiness is what makes them survive. So for us, what's really important is to accompany them the first 2 years, be close to them, support them, motivate them. But after they realize the power of the design methodology and what designers can do, after that, they are the best leaders and they're the ones who spread the methodology with their colleagues.
Yeah, that is usually the case, right? I mean, for whatever you are trying to show people, having the example, having actually someone going there, trying it out, that's the best selling person, right? And Josefa is because now I want to ask for everybody. But Josefa, what are the next steps for Palpa? And one of the things that I was looking at it, and then I was thinking, okay, in today's world that is more and more diversity and inclusivity. One of the things that came to my mind was the color. Like, are you thinking, like, for example, especially if you're going into the US, that these issues are also brought to the table pretty soon in the equation. Are you thinking on having like different customization options?
Yes, of course, that is one of our expansion plans. Well, our next steps is first launching our campaign in Chile. We are now doing with some companies like department store. They will give out Palpa with the when you buy a bra, they will give you a device. So we are doing now that, but also we are thinking in the expansion of the product. Of course, the first thing it comes in mind is like for Black women or I don't know, other colors. But yeah. Today, Palpa has the characteristic that you fill it with the soap you want. So the color is like the soap you choose. So it's not like skin color. Can be green, yellow, white. It's like it has that characteristic. And our next step, I would say that I would love to like do the same we are doing in Chile, but in other countries, especially on those countries that they don't have like access to mammographies or places that are far away from big cities, so they don't have access to hospital to check themselves. So I think that is a big goal also for us.
Have you been discussing with different organizations on how to do it? How to reach?
Yes, of course. Some hospitals. Of course, this is also a topic that a lot of doctors like won't promote only breast self-exam because you have to do the mammogram and all that. But they are happy to educate women with this device. So, like for example, in Chile, in public health, when you go like to the first attention with the doctor, they can teach you with the product and they give you the product. So that is the way you can enter through public institutions, for example, like as a gift and education tool.
Okay. Alejandra, what questions do you have? I can see you're looking, you're analyzing. Do you have a question? that you can ask all of us, or because if not, I am going to ask it to you.
We have questions, or?
I have a question, and the question is, you have been a jury in Diseño Responde, you have been a jury, you are a jury in Index Award. So you have a lot of projects you can compare. Where would you put Latin American design? Where are we?
I think in compare with the rest of the world, I think really we are very similar. I think the Latin creativity is really amazing. I think it's one of our fortaleza. How do you say fortaleza? Strengths. But I think the problem with the Latin American creativity or the Latin American reality is the opportunities. And you know, because we organize together this contest, I think one of the big challenges for us is justly how we can show this creativity to the rest of the world. So if you compare, for example, a lot of the finalists from the Index Award and the finalists from Diseño Responde, I don't think they are a big difference or a lot of difference. I think we have the same creativity. The opportunity, the opportunities is the difference, or the big difference for us. How, for example, today Josefa tell us about this opportunity that she has in Boston, but that is not the reality for the Latin designers in the normally here in Chile, for example. So I think the challenges, the big challenge is that,
So perhaps it's also about having more spaces, right? Making more available, creating the environment around it.
So yes.
Okay, I would love to continue, but we have reached the end. I think we have 30 seconds around there. I would have loved to continue having this conversation. Remember, those that are watching, you can still send questions. We can answer them afterwards. The video, the recording is going to be available afterwards. We know that back in Latin America, people are about to, well, they have already been waking up, but not everyone. But we are, thanks a lot so much. Thank you a lot, Alejandra, Giovanna, Ignacia, Josefa, and everybody watching. It was great having you here. I would just continue talking, but we need to come to an end. So thank you very much, everyone.
And thank you, Mariano.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias a todas.
Gracias.
Chao, chao.
Chao.
Gracias to Josefa, Giovanna, Ignacia, and Alejandra, and moderator Mariano for that incredible session. With minds like these, perhaps change can happen quicker than we think. But that's not all. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. CEST, we have Problem Solution, where 3 design students present their life-improving design concepts to Designit's design director, Eva Guerra, for live feedback. I know, we can't wait either. See you then.